After childhood trauma, relationships can continue to be harmful if we've coupled in a way that recreates the relationship patterns that we experienced in childhood. But even if we worked hard enough to change those patterns and have found a safe relationship, the trauma brain will continue to say that we're in danger when we're not. So how do you tell if you're reacting to something old or something that's real now? Let's talk about it.
Start with healing one trigger at a time. You can do this.
Hi, I'm Tamara Ridge, the therapist that's been there, helping you to heal your childhood trauma so you can enjoy your relationships. First, remember that the trauma brain running wild is set to everything is dangerous. So, when you have a big response to something that's happening in your relationship, the trauma brain is always going to suggest that whatever is happening right now is dangerous for you. It errs on the side of not safe. So, if you're in a safe relationship, the biggest clue that you're responding to something old is fear. Now, many trauma survivors, myself included, have learned to live with fear so much that we stop recognizing that we're in fear all the time. So the first step for you may be that you've got to start to tap into your feelings and start to notice when you're afraid. Because it's true that many times we don't even know that we're triggered. But just like you've been able to shut your feelings off and not be aware of your fear, you have the same power to turn your feelings back on again and start paying attention so that you can know when you're afraid. Now, when something happens in relationship and you're not sure, that confusion comes up that tells you that something's not okay maybe, the first thing that you want to do is to start by calming yourself. Take some time to take a breath, and then you want to check in with your body history. Your body history holds all of the trauma stories in your body and all of the energy, the emotional energy, that brings back this fear in huge amounts, even when it doesn't apply. So I want you to stop and pay attention and ask yourself a couple of questions. The first question, does this situation that I currently am overreacting to or having a strong response to seem familiar somehow to something from my past? You've got to stop and really pay attention to that. If it is familiar, then try to feel into it and ask yourself, am I responding to my partner as if they are this thing or this event or this person from my past? If you are, then for sure your response is going to be probably out of proportion and you've probably misunderstood what's happening in the moment. So I'll tell you about that more in a minute. But let me tell you the second thing. The second thing that you need to look at is, what are you saying to yourself about your partner's behavior? If it's directly connected to your body history, so he's gonna hurt me, or no partner has ever been faithful, or it's always like this for me. If you are saying something like that when you're triggered, then you're gonna have tunnel vision and you're not gonna be able to see any other possibility except the one that's connected to that trigger. So we want to start thinking about other potential possibility besides the one that's front and center connected to your trigger. As you're working to calm yourself and breathing, I want you to think about 2 or 3 other possibilities besides the one that your trauma brain is trying to convince you of right now. Other reasonable explanations besides the one that the fear is inspiring. Then I want you to think about this partner. Think about your relationship with this partner. Think about who they are in relationship to you when you're not afraid? Is the explanation that your trauma brain is giving you of this partner the only focused tunnel vision explanation? Does that fit with who you know them to be? So, if they're very kind and very sweet and very gentle, then is the thing that your trauma brain telling you about them or about a different situation? Really important to know that. And then this would be the time for you to pull out your half sheet exercise. There's a reminder, it looks like this. Write down the differences between the body history story that you're being told and what you know in real time about your partner. You might want to also add some other things in the list, like, when those things happened, I was a child, I'm an adult now. I couldn't escape that relationship. I'm in this relationship by choice. So start listing all of those differences so that every time you start to feel triggered, you can remember that right now you're safe, if you actually are. So finally, the last thing I want you to do is to ask. Get validation. So that would be asking a question like, when you made that comment, I know you were talking about that person or that other situation, but in my head, I believe that you were really talking about me. Is that true? Or, when you did that thing that you did, I believe that you did it because you were mad at me. Can you help me understand what was really going on? So get clarification. 9 times out of 10, that clarification is something different than what your trauma brain is telling you. So if you found something valuable in this video, please go ahead and click subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.